Welcome to Together We Eat. In this unique series, we will be visiting a variety of minority-owned restaurants to share their food and their stories. Since the beginning of time, humans have bonded over sharing a meal. By breaking bread together, we have been able to forge relationships and create friendships, which allows us to appreciate different cultures. Food helps us break down barriers so we can engage in meaningful conversation about issues facing our society. Each episode will have a different hot topic and a diverse panel of guests from all backgrounds to share a meal and open up honest and real discussions. This is Together We Eat. Welcome to Together We Eat. I'm your host, Nicolina. We're here today at Panxa Cocina, located in the heart of the Belmont Heights neighborhood in Long Beach, California. We're going to be speaking with Chef Arthur Gonzalez pretty soon. He's a good friend of mine, and he's going to be letting us taste some of his amazing dishes. He does a lot of different New Mexican style cuisine here. It's his take on New Mexican cuisine, and Panxa's an amazing restaurant. It's one of my favorites in Long Beach. I think it's a true hidden gem. They got great happy hour, great brunch, and it's going to be delicious. So I'm looking forward to talking to him and getting to taste some of his great food. So let's go. What's up, Chef?
How you doing?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's do this. Thank you so much for having me and speaking with me, having us here in this beautiful restaurant.
Awesome.
Super,
Glad to have you
super
here.
excited. Love you so much. So, just wanting to get some more information on Panxa and just get a little bit more information about you so we can share it with the city and have everybody come up in here and get all this delicious food. So, how long have you been a chef?
20 plus years now.
Okay.
Started my career here in Long Beach and moved around a little bit through the Southwest and New Mexico and came back to Long Beach.
Yeah. Are you from New Mexico originally?
No, I'm from Southern California.
You're from Southern California, okay. And then, so when did you move to New Mexico to start your career over there?
Probably about 6 years into my career. I just felt I needed some more experience, and I just wanted to travel and experience different cuisine of the United States.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to go to New Mexico, and I just was like, New Mexico? But I went out there and I just felt a connection. There's something about the Southwest.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love it's kind of a dry heat during the summer.
Yeah.
And you kind of get cold winters, and I fell in love with the cuisine and the culture, and so I decided to put some roots down there.
Awesome. So how did you become a chef? Like, what got you into cooking? Did you grow up cooking as a kid?
I did not. I'm half Mexican, half German. I grew up with both of my grandmas cooking, my mom cooking, my grandma from Oaxaca, Mexico, making some of the best food I ever ate.
Oaxacan food is amazing.
So I always had an interest in
Yeah.
food, but I wanted to be a firefighter. So I got into the fire department at an early age. Figured out I had a knack for cooking, but I hurt my back, and that kind of got me out of it. And so I just pursued cooking after that. I went through some different careers and just found it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Finally, at 26, I said I want to cook.
So what is something about New Mexican cuisine that you absolutely love, and how do you feel it differs from Mexican cuisine?
That's to me a very simple answer. It's simplicity. And in like let's take a mole from Oaxaca, Mexico. There's 20 plus ingredients. There's a whole process to make this sauce. In New Mexico, it's all about the chili.
Right.
The hatch chili from down south, the red chili from northern New Mexico, which you drive up through the Chamayo Valley and all you see is red chilies sun drying out on people's roofs.
I bet it smells
and
amazing.
it smells amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But when they make a sauce, it's very simple. It's all about the chili. So
you highlight the chili.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I kind of fell in love with that simplicity. It was total opposite of Mexican cooking. And they're very serious about it and dedicated to having that culture in their food.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what kind of food did you grow up eating? Was your Oaxacan grandmother always making mole? What was your German grandmother making?
That's very interesting. I mean, I grew up eating potato pancakes, schnitzel, spatzel, and then my grandma was making albondigas and
So the
mole
full spectrum.
and very nopales, but I also grew up in a predominantly Asian neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So Christmas Day, I would be at my friend's, a Filipino's house, eating lumpia and cracking crabs, and then go over to my Korean friend's house and eating kimchi, and then going home and eating our family's food. So I grew up in a very diverse childhood, and I think it kind of helped me now as a chef, for sure.
So breaking into the current state of our world and this whole COVID craziness, how has Panxa been doing? How has Panxa been able to survive so far right now? Like, with to-go orders. I know we have the new beautiful patio outside. How's it been?
It's been interesting. There's always there's a part of me that just wants to stay close through this whole thing and just kind of wait it out. Yeah. But we have rent to pay. That's not going to go away. I have employees that need to work that can't just survive off of unemployment. Right. And that weighs more heavily on us than a lot of other stuff. Yeah. So, we made a decision when they allowed us to do the patios to do that. It's outside. We feel that's a lot safer than being indoors. For sure. We built the parklet. The city allowed us to do that, and that has been a game changer.
So you guys had to build that yourselves. The city didn't help you build that.
No.
Interesting. No. Okay. I thought that the city was helping to provide some of these outside parklets.
They provide the actual the barriers. Right. So that's a pretty hefty cost. Yeah. But we, I think to make it our own, everybody kind of does their own thing and make it look the way they want. So that's your investment. Right. We've had to get creative and talk to our landlord and do other stuff. And most of all, it's been the support of our customers that we've worked hard to earn their trust and have them come to our place and just show them a good time.
Absolutely.
So it's been rewarding.
So you feel like the community has responded well to getting takeout orders and just sitting out on the patio just to show support,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really, really good. And how's your staff been with all of the new changes and everything?
Everybody wanted to come back to work when we were ready to open, and that was really a great feeling because I know some places were struggling with their employees to come back, and we didn't have any of that. So I take a lot of pride in that. Yeah. It means we're doing something right with our employees, and that's all we want. We want to provide them with a good, healthy environment where they can grow, and hopefully one day we can help them out and going through their experience through life.
Totally. You guys are amazing people to work for, so I don't have any surprise as to why your employees were super stoked to come back and all of that. So yeah, you guys are amazing people. So, are we hopeful that things will possibly return to normal someday? Do you have any sort of hope for the future?
I think so. Things may change a little, as far as service and how we serve food and prepare food and treat people, because everyone has a different view. Right. And we just want to make people comfortable. Right. And most of all, keep our employees safe. Yes. So we can continue. I am hopeful that this business will turn around. I don't know in which capacity, but I feel there's always going to be a need for service. For sure. People want to be entertained. Yes. People want to have good food. They want to have a good drink and be shown a good time. Yeah. Because that's what we do. Yes. Is take people away from their everyday life and just show them a good time for an hour, 2 hours, however long they're with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me. I really appreciate you letting us be here. Love this restaurant. It's seriously one of my favorite restaurants in Long Beach.
Thank you.
Great happy hour. You guys have the best happy hour. Your brunch is amazing. Love it inside of here. So thank you for talking to me.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
After talking with Chef, it's time to join my guests for the conversation segment of the episode and get some drinks going while we wait for the food, because your girl is thirsty. Panxa has a great bar program and is home to one of the biggest mezcal collections in Long Beach. They have some of the best agave-based cocktails in the LBC with a variety of delicious margaritas and unique mezcal concoctions. If you're an agave spirits freak just like me, I promise you'll appreciate the selection here. welcome back. We are joined by our guests right now, my wonderful parents, Melanie Clark and Anthony Clark. They are from the amazing Clarks. They have their own life coaching business, so they truly are amazing, and I'm thankful to have them here today talking with us. We also have Miss Adriane Kelly right here, who's a wonderful family friend of ours, and Adriane has her own business as well. And what's that business?
So I have a couple of things going on, but I think most pertinent to your audience is Decent Human Society. Follow us on Instagram. We just provide entry-level information for people who want to get involved in social conversations like ending racism, things like that. So we have some pretty easy guides. So
awesome.
Decent
So
Human
check
Society.
them out.
Yeah.
I also just want to take a quick moment to appreciate that they are all wearing cheetah print
We
by
didn't plan
accident.
this. That just happened.
Well, this was not planned. This was not part of the episode, and I'm mad I don't have cheetah print on too.
But it looks good.
So, as far as defunding the police goes, what does that mean to each of you? What does that concept mean? So, Miss Adriane, I will start with you first.
I'll say for me, what defunding the police means, I'd actually like to look at it in the positive. For me, it means refunding the people, refunding the communities.
Yeah.
You know, there's a hashtag care not cops,
Yeah.
and it's the idea of spending money up front to create environments that don't produce crime,
Yeah.
rather than spending money on the back end to store human beings. That's what it means to me, moving money around, baby.
I love that, and I think that's what a lot of people that understand the movement know that that's what it is it's just moving money around. So,
You know, for me, what it means is there are consequences for your actions. If the police are not working for the people, then they don't get rewarded with money because we're paying their salaries. These
Yeah.
are our tax dollars. And if they are killing folks in the street and covering for each other, why should they be rewarded?
Right.
So we should take that money and put it into social programs that can actually help people, and hopefully some programs that can actually help the police to get it together so they stop doing
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
So that's what it means to me.
absolutely.
To me, basically, the thing about the whole situation is that people don't ask the question, why? So yes, we have crime, yes, we have these situations, but why? And yes, I believe that law enforcement plays a role, but let's find a solution. Why do we need law enforcement? So basically, to take some of that money and redirect it towards the solution, and not just the problem.
I love all of those answers, and those are all great answers. So, what would you say to people who feel that by defunding the police, where it can lead to abolishing the police and just getting rid of the police completely? Do you agree with that? Do you think that we should get rid of the police completely, or do you feel that that is even an issue?
It's kind of scary, and I think it is for the public in general. Like, if there are no police, will there be more crime? So I don't know that I'm necessarily for abolishing the police, but I think there should be more controls. And I think that conversation comes with a lot of fear. And right now in our society, in the divisiveness, that's all about fear. But like Adriane said, like, we have to educate ourselves on that topic. And what is that about? What would that look like if we did that, and what would replace the police?
Right.
So I'd be interested in more about that.
I kind of want to bring up Camden, New Jersey, just because I think that that's such an interesting case of them being able to completely, essentially abolish their whole police department because they got rid of all of their police department, and then they rebuilt the police department back up. They rehired all new officers, they retrained them, they had basically an entire change in their entire structure of how they ran the police department. They've been able to put more police on the streets, and they're having less crime, less police brutality, and it's working for them. Do you think that reforming the police in this way in a city like LA would be possible?
Well, a couple of things come up for me. First of all, it's human behavior and human instinct. Like, after you deal with so many traumas, it's going to change how you view people, how you filter people. So I actually think the police should have limited careers. Like, you can only be police for so long, and they should change them out and change them out. And I think if that happens, you have new, passionate, compassionate police officers that can come in and actually serve the community instead of coming in with all of these negative experiences. Because when you're dealing with violence and crime, and you know, there's some unruly people in the world. When you deal with that every day, on and on and on, you begin to filter everybody through that filter. So I think limiting like how long they could be police would be awesome. And so that could work if that it's a continual cycle. Because in New Jersey, I believe after a while, those cops are going to go right back
to their old
right
ways.
back to that pattern.
Yeah.
But I think definitely you have to go in, and you can't train people because once they're traumatized and they have that belief, it's so
already
hard
in
to
them.
change an old belief than it is to create new beliefs for new people.
Right. Food's here. Chef Art sent us out some of Panxa's signature dishes to enjoy, such as their stacked enchiladas with short ribs. It comes with a Christmas sauce, which is Hatch green chili sauce and New Mexico red chili sauce. I promise, this is the only way to eat your enchiladas. My grandma's from New Mexico, and the red sauce they use here is almost identical to hers. Please don't tell her I said that. We also have some green chili cornbread with honey butter, drool, and albóndigas spatzel. So, let's eat. Support their families. So, what would you say to people that feel that by us defunding the police and allocating this money back into our education systems, they feel that it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to be able to get these kids out of these crime-ridden areas and that kind of a thing. That they just feel like they're either in poverty, they're already around it, they're in these areas. That's what they're That's what they're knowing when they're growing up. That's their environment. They are not going to benefit from this higher education because they're in these areas. But people are saying if we were to get them access to higher education, they would be able to perform better in society.
You know, I think that both the black and brown community, we have so much variety. So it's not just this one blanket statement that you can make. So if it were to be done, I know for a fact that a percentage of the black community would benefit from it.
Absolutely.
And that's a start, because that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm an example of that, where I had the ability to, and it wasn't necessarily college for me that did it. It was the option to have more, to be able to go, oh, I can get out of this environment and go to another part of the country, or to have the freedom and the resources to move around. And once you do that, you grow, you experience something different. And most of the people in the community, they don't really go beyond that community. So you can't do better until you know better. And so some would benefit from college, some would benefit from just having the freedom and resources to explore and experience more.
What, in our final closing comments, what is your advice to people to better understand defunding the police and how we can move forward and restructure and recreate our system? What would be your advice to people in understanding defunding the police?
I would just say the first thing is hold yourself to a higher standard as a human being and really get some integrity around how you believe other human beings should be treated. It's not always about self-interest when you hold yourself to a higher standard. That would be my number one. I think Google.
Learn
if you
some
care,
stuff.
hold yourself at least to that standard, and take up, become more socially and politically active. Take up a little bit more space. Be a force in your sphere of influence, in your own mind, in your relationship, in your family.
Yeah.
And you may decide that you don't like the idea, but get educated.
Totally. Thank you.
I think that when it comes to this topic, that I agree with Adriane, people need to educate themselves more, but also it starts at home. Be the change you want to see in the world. Police yourself. Teach compassion to your children. Have compassion for people. When people tell you they're having a negative experience, believe them. Don't discount them. Say, I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm not going to be a part of that, instead of poo-pooing it, because that's a big problem. And so I do think what you said is super important. Words do matter, and defunding does scare people. So let's come up with as many terms as we can, and you choose one. Hashtag which one works for you. Let's do this.
Yes, I love it.
dad.
I'm not gonna be like.
Our society
one response.
is going to be in a mess
That person that.
until we invest more money into our success as opposed to our arrest. So push it. Invest in our success, not my.
Invest in my success, not in my arrest.
I dig it.
That's love. Show me that love.
I love that. I love that. Well,
I just made that up right now. This is yummy food.
this is why I have you on the show
Freestyle,
for
spitting off
comments
the
like
dome.
this. We do have to wrap this up, so thank you so much to all of my viewers for joining us in this conversation. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you learned something from the conversation. I hope you grew just a little bit more, and maybe it's going to inspire you to open up more conversations with your friends and family as well. So come together and eat with each other.
The food was
Beautiful
amazing.
food, yes. We want to thank Panxa so much. Chef Arthur, Vanessa, his wife, who's also the owner. Thank you so much to both of you, your staff. Your staff has been amazing. JJ has been our server and he's awesome. So thank you so much to Panxa. We really appreciate you guys. Please come here and try this delicious food and have a meaningful conversation.